Anyhow, Glitch Reaper here. I'm here for another Mlog at this time. Thing is, I do have a couple things to announce, and/or upcoming. One of which is I finally had somebody ask me about doing facecam. After all this time, someone finally mentioned it. Uh, Now, another thing is in terms of upcoming, I'll be discussing kind of a event that comes up periodically, and it'll be a big deal. Now, first of all, the thing about the face cam, I've I've always been somebody who's a bit more private about a lot of things, so I tend to not really believe in them for multiple ways. For one, they always obscure the screen, they take up processing power, which is something you don't want to spread around when you want a quality video, because it always will subtract a bit from the, like from the quality of the video if you're having multiple things running at the same time, especially past a certain limit. And there's just so many reasons why not to have a face cam. But I did decide a long time ago that there would be one thing, and one thing alone, that I would possibly use. Well, maybe. I mean, if they had something equivalent to it, otherwise, I might go for it. But anyhow, the fact of the matter is that I've always wanted to do more with infrared and other parts of the spectrum, and it's hard to have a good multispectral camera like that, especially one that you could use as a webcam. Now, the thing about it is there has been a humongous breakthrough. Now, normally I don't go into like science news too terribly much on my channel and stuff like that, but this is one of those things that's just too darn cool and too appropriate for this. There has been something that has been created called a quantum interference camera. It's absolutely awesome as to what it can do. Many, many things, actually. Not the least of which is it allows you to access a humongous part of the spectrum for cheap. And a pretty broad band, actually. So you can go pretty deeply into the ultraviolet and the infrared and things like that, and do all sorts of effects with it. But at the same time, it also allows for some things that may be a bit more mysterious. More on that if it ever comes up. However, there's also a serious problem with the idea of the quantum entanglement camera, or quantum interference camera. I think it's more quantum entanglement camera, actually. Although it does use a quantum interference pattern whenever the waveforms intersect. Well, it's one of those things that you kind of have to look it up. But anyhow, to know what I'm talking about, because not too many people really know how wave physics works. But anyhow, the point is it uses a pair of laser beams intersecting to analyze incoming energy, so therefore it can kind of go a bit above and below the frequencies of those lasers as they kind of do constructive and destructive interference, so you can make it where it goes really deep and really high compared to those beam frequencies. So basically said, it can actually go far beyond what you're actually using, and far below. So you can get infrared, you can get ultraviolet, etc. And that's kind of the thing I've always been wanting. I've always been wanting to do that. But the problem is, even though the idea is developed and it can be done, like they know it works, no one's doing this commercially right now. Like, they're not actually producing them as camera units. And that's the thing. We need to kind of generate demand, because otherwise, I'm not going to bother. Really, seriously, I am that determined to say this or it's never going to happen. Why? Because I have other things I want to do with it, other than just using it as a webcam. There's a lot of things that I want to do, and I might expand my channel into that if I get a hold of one in the first place, and which is also makes it good to note that a webcam doesn't have to be designed specifically to be a webcam. It just has to be able to attach, be able to have some kind of connection with the ports and inputs, like, for example, a USB connection or something like that. Just any way you can have it attached to your system and positioned. So as long as it's compact enough, with which this new technique is promising to be, might I add. It could be super compact. I mean, they could put this on a spy cam the size of like a pin, nobody'd even know. I mean, seriously, it's not even being developed in secret, let alone commercially. Nobody is actually producing this right now at all. That's the problem. It's not being utilized for its full value to society, or for that matter, individuals like me, and you, and anybody who wants to see people in different ways, or just see them, period. I mean, this could really open up things in all sorts of ways. But right now, I don't really see the demand right now. So I'm going to look around and see if there's been any petitions started to different companies or to actively research and develop it further. If not, we'll probably have to generate them. In the future, if I do see such like petitions or, for that matter, other kinds of big articles about it starting up, I will keep you informed. As part of the purpose of this announcement, is saying right now that's not going to happen, but can happen. Can happen. It's not happening. Okay, I'm going to say. I didn't mean to say it's not going to happen. I'm saying it's not happening, but totally can and should, and probably, if we make an effort, will happen. There. That's it. That's determination. There we go. And again, totally not an Undertale joke. I mean, like, personal determination here. Although I do like Undertale, that's just besides the point. Anyhow, the thing is that this is one thing that we can make a push for. Now, I don't know how they determine on various types of petitions how many signatures they need and all that jazz. I mean, does that matter if it's to a government or a private company? Like, if I were to start this, how many would I need? I have over 250 subs now. That sounds good to me, but at the same time, how does that go if I only counted everybody that I knew and my subs in on this? I don't think it would reach like 500. So if it was calling for like 5,000 signatures, then the word would have to get out. No doubt about that. And this is revolutionary for so many reasons, as I think it's so darn useful to have something that can do this degree of this spectrum. Like, for example, and for that matter, as cheap as it's promising to be. I mean, could you imagine using this as wildlife cameras, finding out what's been trying to scoot around in your house as security? I mean, if you got this thing set on invisible mode, then nobody would know. I mean, somebody tries breaking into your house, you would see them and they would have no clue there was a camera on. I mean, it really is something that cool. It's also good for things like finding the flaws in machinery, because it'll have like a leak, a thermal leak. So, and well, there's just so darn many uses. People really don't realize what happens when you open up the spectrum to casual use. It would just be amazing. This being said, without my literal... Well, I don't know. Is this my literal serious face? I'm between the 3 or so skins I have. I'm not sure. Anyhow, the point is that the world needs this. So I'm going to be trying to find a way to push this through if I can. Personally, if somebody else is, I will support it and basically help everybody do the parrot thing and flock. I mean, we have to flock to this. This is... Yes. Yes. The parrot power is inspiring me in a whole new way here. We have to flock to this. That is definitely the thing we're going to be doing. Now, okay, so there we go. Flock to that. That's definitely my point. Now, another part of why I'm doing this is something upcoming. That would be Olympics. There's only a few types of sporting events I'm serious about, and that will cause me to pause. Now, most of the other things don't really interfere with my time that much, because they're basically on a regular schedule for things, and I can easily kind of step around them. But when it comes to Olympics, it does take up a huge chunk of time for the world. It's not just me. And the thing is, I'm very, very serious about watching them whenever it's got the live events on. And because of this, I probably won't be doing much during that time. This goes for both Summer and Winter Olympics. I do both. So, just saying, whenever either of those is coming up, you'll know why. So, if anyone's ever in doubt, please refer to this video. Now, the thing is that currently, at this exact time, which history would record 1.12.2 was around at this time, just saying, due to reference point here, that the upcoming Olympics at this time is the Winter Olympics, and the recent one will be starting in February. I believe around the 9th. So that'll be the starting time for when I may or may not be able to do too terribly much, except maybe things that are really, really short. I don't know. I might be able to do that if I'm really lucky. But I'm not seeing that being an easy thing to do. It'd be more like after I get myself caught up after Olympics, I'll be getting back into the normal swing of things. But that's pretty much how that works. However, I do suggest that for everybody, not just me, but take a load off of other things you do for a while. I mean, if you got some other kind of time you can spare, it would be great to watch the Olympics. It's a huge worldwide event. It is the spirit of international cooperation in many ways. It's very historic. It has a very long-standing history about it, proud history going back to ancient times. And for that matter, the Olympics are a way to get all your sports in one shot for a couple years. That's kind of what I do. I usually don't watch a lot of those kind of sporting events individually, but something about the Olympics just gets me going. I just watch them all in a row. So it's a fantastic event. I do suggest it for those who haven't really watched Olympics before. And it's just something where I can say, okay, go ahead, just take a load off. We can collectively get caught up with things later. It's not such a big deal. And for that, well, the getting caught up part. The Olympics is a big deal. It's huge. It really is. I wonder, maybe I could do a tribute before with an Olympic-style thing in Minecraft? Maybe. Well, I could at least fly through some rings, because I've been wanting to get some electric practice. But anyhow, the point being that I will be very, very much into the Olympics whenever it's on. So, in case anybody wonders how I might temporarily disappear periodically every couple of years, it will be an Olympics thing. So, yeah, I may have to post reminders of that periodically for anybody that's new. Just saying. But I do believe that summarizes the major stuff for now. So, without further ado, we will head off with our usual event. And yes, I still have a bit left on my first world event, so that's why I'm still in this skin. Until I feel that I've really shown off my first world and done my 255 celebration, then I'll probably still be having this skin. Maybe afterwards, I don't know. I might just kind of feel this again, and I might update it a bit. Yeah, I mean, I could go with some magma pants now. I don't know. We'll see. And I have added that to Nether, and this is my Nether Orman skin, so I could go for that. Anyhow, for now, this has been Glitch Reaper. I'll be signing off. So, for now, hope to hear from y'all later, everybody. And bye for now, and join the Parrot Party. Yeah!